Great, Corey, you got us?
Yep. We'll get started with Adam Tyke.
Hey Grayson, Coach Shankin said after yesterday's game that this stretch of games close to the end of the season against playoff teams have that playoff intensity. As the games get more intense and defense gets more physical, what are some things you're focusing on to make sure you're still getting the looks you want out there?
Just continuing to get to my spots. Once we secure the rebound defensively, get out and run in transition and space and either get to the high quad or all the way to the corner and give whoever's pushing the ball some space and be spotted up. And then whenever guys are coming off pick and rolls or driving, just continue to move and be available.
Megan Triplett.
Grayson, tonight's the first night that the Grizzlies didn't have anyone on the injury report. I know you guys didn't get the result that you guys wanted, but what was it like to be back out there with a full group of guys and seeing the various rotations?
It's really nice. It's we have a really deep team, and so it's nice to be finally at full health for the first time in the year. And I think even though tonight's game didn't really go how we wanted it to, I think that's going to be big for us going forward. And the more minutes, more game time we can get with all guys healthy and all guys in the rotation and looking at different rotations, different lineups, it's good for us.
Evan Barnes.
Hey, Grayson, two things for me. One, how many positives do you guys take from this road trip, considering you guys are still in the 8th seed, you're healthy, and you guys got some pretty big wins over Portland? And second, Jazz obviously shooting the ball better. Do you see anything differently with how he's shooting on the court?
Well, with this road trip, I think getting four out of 7 is pretty good for a 7-game, 13-day road trip playing against some really good teams. So we can take away that. We're playing at a really high level. We're putting ourselves in a position to win a lot of games and a lot of good games. And, I think that's big for us. We definitely got better over this road trip, even though we lost some close ones and didn't finish it out strong. We got better and just really got 4 wins out of it, and that's good. And for Ja, he's shooting with confidence. He's catching it in rhythm. He's not thinking about it. Like, I think he's gotten to the point now that he knows he's going to shoot it. Like, he knows if a guy goes under, he's shooting it. If they're heavy shifting off him, he's shooting it. Like, he's not looking at the closeout, waiting, thinking about it. Like, he's letting it fly and he's shooting it with confidence. And that makes him even harder to guard and takes our offense up to another level.
John Coleman.
Grayson, even though the three-pointer wasn't there tonight, you talk about taking the offense to another level. It has been there for much of April with the shooting overall from everybody on the roster. And now with Jaren back, how much fun and exciting is it to now finally have your roster fully available of the shooters that you have, especially during this critical stretch of the season?
I think everyone on the team feels that JJ is a really fun guy to play with. He does absolutely everything out there on the court. Defensively, he's got your back. He's versatile. He can guard and switch. He can drop back in center and protect the rim. And then offensively, he forces the other team's bigs to get out to the three-point line and guard him. And then he's also a threat rolling. He's a threat in the post. He's a threat just about anywhere on the court. And for everyone else, that makes our job a lot easier out there with whatever we have to do. And then that just makes it more fun to play with him.
Isaac Simpson.
Hey, Grayson, 2 questions for me. First off, a lot is made of the altitude in Denver and to lesser extent Utah, where you played previously, so you might be a little bit more used to it. But how much of a factor is that when playing these games, especially at the end of a long road trip? And with the close race between 6 and 10, how often do you guys look at the standings, or are you guys just taking one game at a time?
So with the altitude, you don't get used to it unless you're there. Coming, even though we were here, felt like a few days ago. I don't know how long ago it was. Like, coming back, the altitude just smacks you. So the only time you get used to it is, from my experience of being in Salt Lake City, is if you're there for probably 3-4 days is when you really start to settle in. But until then, that first trip in the first quarter is rough, whether you're playing against Utah or playing here in Denver. What was the second part of your question?
With the standings between 6 to 10 being so close, how often do you guys check in on the standings? Are you conscious of it? Are you aware of it? Or you guys just kind of go out there and do your thing and don't worry about it?
We're definitely aware of it. Like I said before, we at our facility at home we have the standings up on the wall in the facility and in the locker room, so we're aware of it. We see where everyone's at. Like we see where we're at and compared to everyone else. But I don't think there's a lot of checking up around the league, seeing who's winning and who's losing every single night, and watching the standings. And like all we can do is take it one game at a time and try to get as many wins as we can for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Grayson.
Thank you.